So we're here this morning with Sibran. We completed last week on the purchase of this property. It's a joint venture with 4 investor partners. So what this property is, it's currently commercial. It's offices, although we can see actually we've got 3 levels. We've got what we call the lower ground, but it's this access onto the garden. The ground floor, which covers all of the ground floor at street level, and then there's part which is on the first floor. So we've already got full planning permission to convert this into 3 individual units. So we're going to be having, and these are classed going to be residential, and we're going to be operating them in fact as serviced accommodation. So as we're looking at the building, the part that is the lower ground floor and the ground floor on this part is going to be one unit. It's basically a house, something like I think 140 square meters, and we're going to be having 4 bedrooms in here. And then the other part of the ground floor is quite extensive, will be a second flat. This is going to be a 3-bedroom flat, and on the first floor we're going to go in there in a moment. We'll see a lot of that is almost ready for use because it was partly converted into residential. The previous owners were in fact living here, and we've got this secluded space outside, so it is in fact ideal for like large groups, Airbnb, because there's no immediate neighbours, which is a great thing. Whilst we're out here, we'll look at some of the quirks of the building. Because we've got a lower ground floor which is below the level of where all the soil and sewage goes, we've got a special, because here we've got bathrooms and things. What we have here is a special tank, so all the sewage and wastewater from the lower ground floor goes into here, and this then, when this starts filling up, there's a macerator and pump that pumps the sewage to the ground level and into the soil pipes to get rid of it. So this obviously has to be maintained, but at the same time, if there's no power, there's probably something like 1,000 litres, maybe 2,000 litres of storage, so it can still accumulate, and if there's an issue it needs to be repaired. But yeah, it's like a standard thing. So if we start having a look around at the property, so we're going in, we've got areas here where we've got quite a big room, and it goes through into a second room on the ground floor. We're going to be opening all of this up, adding window, and this is going to be something like probably 30 to 40 square meters, including the conservatory of common space, so we'll be able to accommodate large groups in here. Whilst we're in here, we'll notice, and this is what we do when we take on a property, we start breaking things. Here we made Sibran made a hole yesterday. Because these are going to be separate apartments, we need to have all the fire separation. Sometimes we need fireboarding, and we need to understand how the how the floors are done, what the separation is. And here we've got concrete lintels and blocks, and we've got one single standard plasterboard. But because we've got those concrete blocks, it's going to be most likely adequate. We're not going to have to do any additional fire protection, or probably won't need to do any additional sound insulation. One of the first things that we do is, on these properties, we get the experts in to sort out all the building regulations and do the construction drawings. We know how we're going to be configuring everything, but we need to get that done really fast. We got this property on, I think, the 28th of March, and although we've planned 6 months for the for the renovation. We want to get it finished, at least part finished, ready for the summer, and ideally everything within 4 to 5 months. We walk through, we've got this conservatory, which is actually quite modern. The double glazing on the ceiling, we actually got heating in here, so it's a good space, and it's got the reflective coating to prevent it from getting too hot in the summer. So we've got a really great space here. If you go back outside, we'll notice here we've got this, not strange, but this additional building. We're going to be removing this roof and the roof that's going up so we can add additional windows, and we're looking at opening up, putting window here, and this will be part of the big room inside where we'll have most likely the kitchen behind here. So let's walk through now, see a few other things. This building previously, well, it started life around 200 years ago as a pub. It was called the Berkeley Arms. Then it was bought by Mencap charity and operated, I think, probably maybe 20 years by the charity. And at that point, lifts were put in. So we've actually got lifts which we need to remove, and that's actually specialist work, is not like standard demolition work. So we're currently in the process of consulting lift engineers to be able to have these removed so that we can start reconfiguring. Here, this was a kitchen. We're going to be making this into a bedroom. And the nice thing is, when we're sort of looking around, we're trying to understand how things work, and we're thinking how to get light in here. Because next to this room, if we have a look, we've got a bathroom, which actually is in great condition. And we were thinking, because we've got a window here, we're going to have to move the bathroom towards the back and create the bedroom here. But when we started looking around in detail, we find that when we look on this side part here, we can see these parts here which give us the indication that there used to be windows, and there's 1, 2, 3 of those. So we're going to be breaking a bit on the inside, and hopefully we can find openings, and we can create windows so we can keep the bathroom exactly as it is. We'll remove this strange roofing here so we can get some light in here. This access, by the way, goes into a free car park, so we'll probably be putting a metal gate there so that people park can also have access from behind. So we're still in what's going to be what we call the house, the unit on 2 floors. We're going to be across here making an additional door and stud wall, so that will become an ensuite. So that's bedroom number 1. The lift is going to become a toilet. As we're coming up these stairs, obviously when we're looking at these properties, they really look commercial. And a key thing when we're doing commercial to residential is to remove anything that makes it look commercial. So all these things are going to go, all the old fire alarm system, different things, all the emergency lighting. Depending on the fire risk assessment, some of these things might be going back, but we'll be putting them in like a non-obtrusive way so that places look really like homes. I'm stopping here because we've got 1 stairs going up that way, and on this side there's a room on the it's the ground floor that will be a bedroom, and then to optimize the space we're going to be opening this wall and having some small steps going up into that bedroom. So now we're on the ground floor. So we've got this big space. We'll speak about that in a moment. Again, the lift, which we're going to be removing. And so this space is what will become a bedroom, and this cupboard area here is where the stairs will come up directly into here, and we'll also be making a ensuite shower and toilet. Lots of light in these places, and obviously quite nice views over the towards the old town of Chepstow. Again, you'll see we're yesterday making holes everywhere. This was to understand where the central heating pipes are going. And because we're converting this into 3 individual units, this means that each unit must have its own boiler and must have its own electricity supply and consumer unit. So one of the first things that we do, and we spend quite a lot of time doing that, is understanding exactly, because everything is on a single boiler at the moment, is understanding exactly how all the pipe work, how all the plumbing, how all the electricity is working, so we can determine how to reconfigure it. And by analysing things, we noticed actually on this wall there's a gas flue hole, which leads us to, and there's actually, we found some old gas pipes up in the loft. So previously there would have been a boiler here, and interestingly, if you walk through, so this, by the way, where we were just now, is going to be bedroom number 2, and then in this space there's going to be bedroom number 3, and here is going to be bedroom. Yes, that's bedroom. I'm just thinking about, yes, and then bedroom number 4. Sorry, let's start that again, because the stairs are going to be coming up here. So we're going to have 1 bedroom ensuite here. So this is going to be bedroom number 3. Then we're going to have bedroom number 4, and then at this point there'll be the complete division. So this will be probably double fireboarded to have the separation, and on that side is going to be the ground floor flat, and where I'm standing is part of the 2-level house that we just seen. Talking about how all the heating system works, we've got upstairs a boiler. In fact, we'll look at that when we go to the first floor flat. But we see, in reality, we can understand that where there was the boiler in the corner that we saw, there are pipes that go from that area all the way to the new boiler on the first floor. And those pipes, in reality, they're coming all the way along here. These pipes are going all the way to this corner, and then the pipes are going back from here to feed basically all the radiators that are on the ground floor. So all these, the pipes are coming all the way to where the old boiler was and then coming back. So from that we can understand we don't have to redo all the central heating. We can close the where the pipes are going from one boiler to the other, and relatively easily, obviously we need to install the boiler, we need to install the additional gas supply meter, but we don't have to redo all the plumbing. So approximately this level is where there's going to be the divide between the 2 units. Because we're going to be doing serviced accommodation and we want the possibility of renting out the 3 units at the same time, we're going to make between the 2 units, there's going to be a couple of 2 fire doors. And if we want the 2 units to be able to communicate with each other for large groups, we're going to be able to do that. So where I'm standing now is going to be part of the ground floor flat. So the flat are just on 1 level. We're going to be putting a window in here for a bedroom. Initially it was going to be 2 bedrooms, but by analysing in detail yesterday, we discovered that we can get a 3rd bedroom here by putting a window. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of structural work, so the structural engineer will be coming in to do the calculations and tell us exactly how this should be done. And we're going to also put a small window here in the next room, which will be the kitchen area for the ground floor flat. So walking around again, we can see here it's like purely commercial. We've got 2 entrances. So we've got the entrance that goes onto the street. If we can just go out here, we've got some nice sunshine. So the nearest neighbours are in fact on the other side of the street. So there aren't any neighbours on the left or the right. And so we've got these windows. Although these windows look nice, they're single glazed. And also there's a lot of wood here, which is obviously taking space which could be light. So we will be most likely completely replacing these windows, and also because of like building regulations, because we're making flats converting to residential, we have to meet EPC requirements, and new windows will be part of that, and also good for the sound insulation. As we're looking outside, we can see that this is a no-through road, so there's no traffic. The road at the end is obviously the road, sort of a main road going just around the edge of the town, and there's a subway which goes into the old town, and we can't see it here. We can actually. There's the castle in the background. It's probably like 10 minutes walk to the castle and 5 minutes walk to the old town. And if we go in this direction, it's about 4 minutes walk to the station. There's actually frequent service to Cardiff, Gloucester, Birmingham, and to get to London, it's changing at Newport. It takes about 2.5 hours. So whilst we're outside, again on the ground floor, we've got the other entrance. So we'll come in here, and there's also parking for a skip and 3 cars. Or if we haven't got a skip, we can get 4 cars in here. So here we're still also on the ground floor. So all this is going to be the ground floor unit. We've got stairs here that go up to the 1st floor. So this door is going to be kept. Again, we've got a lift here. So we're sorting out the lift engineers to come and remove this and take this away, and we're going to be reconfiguring the stairs. At the moment, the stairs go around and take a massive amount of space to get to the 1st floor. We're going to have the stairs go and then come up here, so we can recuperate some of the space here. So approximately where I'm standing is going to be the door into the ground floor flat. This area where we've got the old, the toilets for the offices, all this is going to be demolished. And because we're right next to the entrance on the ground floor, we're planning on making in here a ensuite bedroom, but with for disabled access, and a wet room also, for disabled access, which would should be a good feature. And then we come through into, again, we're on the ground floor, so that's the entrance we just walked out. So this area here, we're going to have lounge, and going through the kitchen area, and in this space we're also going to be having a bedroom. So on this ground floor flat, the bedroom 1 by the main entrance, 2nd bedroom here, and the 3rd bedroom here. Before we go on to the 1st floor flat, we're going to have a look at all this. And actually as well, we're making holes everywhere. Someone who made the hole hasn't cleared their mess. And so this is really great, because we see again because we were thinking that the first floor, it could be a wooden structure. Again, we've got the concrete lintels, which is great for the fire safety. So we've probably got nothing to do here, but we'll see that when we go into detail on the building regs. And another one here, however, we've got wood, we can't really see in here, but we've got wooden system. So we've got wooden trusses, but we've got double boarding. So again, there we're going to understand whether we need to do anything. Hopefully we're all right on that. Yeah, so we've done all the exploratory work. We know exactly what things are. So then we can go to the phase of the regulations and understanding exactly what we're going to be doing. So here we've got the current arrival of electricity. So we've got a couple of consumer units. This actually goes to a third consumer unit, which is at the other end of the building. Behind this wall, there's the electric meter. So what we're already analysing is that we can send the supply for the house from here and have the electric meter outside. One of these consumer units will obviously be reconfigured for the ground floor flat, and directly above here we have the first floor flat. So there'll be the consumer unit for the first floor flat above here. So we've understood how we can sort this out. This is it hasn't been used probably for 10 years, the commercial fire alarm. Because we're doing domestic, this is going to be completely removed, and we'll be doing the fire risk analysis probably in the next week or two to understand how we need to. We're going to have the standard, most likely interlinked fire alarms for each flat, but probably some common system with call points so that others can be alerted in case of a fire, and we'll be sorting that out. And we've got the gas meter coming in here. So we'll be looking probably, that gas meter is feeding a boiler which is on the first floor. Most likely we'll be looking to have, obviously the gas supply is just on the outside, to have 3 gas meters installed on the outside, the 3 electric meters installed on the outside. Actually, let's have a little look as we're looking around. So here we've got the gas going in, and the gas meter is on the other side, and here we have the electric meter. So we're thinking, obviously there's quite a bit of cost involved when we're getting the utility companies out to do this, but it's not going to be a big problem to have 1, 2, 3 electric meters and 3 gas meters here. So we can go back inside. Actually, while we're outside, to explain everything, when we take on a property as well, we always understanding how the sewage and soil pipes and different things are working. So yesterday we were actually taking the covers off here. These are coming out from kitchen, understanding whether this is like for normal sewage, which way the levels are. So we've understood that if we need to add any soil pipes here, we'll be able to feed them directly into here. And the same thing, we looked on the other side, in the middle of the road there is the access for the sewage. Obviously we didn't take that off, but we got the good understanding of how things work and what we're going to need to be digging. So we've seen what's going to be the ground floor flat, 3 bedrooms. Obviously this division is going to be, if we come back in a week's time, this should hopefully no longer be here. So now we're going upstairs. So as you can see at the moment, it's like taking a massive amount of stairs. Behind here is the lift well. So the lift is going to be removed, and we've got blocks here and blocks here. Not structural, because only, we can obviously have that checked, but from what we understand, it's only for the lift well. So we're going to cut this open, and the stairs then will go directly up where the lift well was, which will free up the space here for additional space for bedrooms and bathrooms on the first floor. So here we're in the first floor flat. People were actually living here almost up until we completed on the purchase. So although theoretically we could keep it as it is, there's quite a bit of optimization that we can do. So if we look here again, this is the lift well, so the stairs are going to be coming up here, so we're going to be walking up here into the flat. So if you have a little look around, we've got a bathroom which is in good condition, needs a bit of decoration, a bit of like finishing, but we're going to be keeping this. Generally in houses, it's always good to have at least one bathroom which is accessible for everyone, and then we like to have en suites as well. Having all en suites in a house that's like a family house isn't a great idea. We need at least one bathroom that's common. If, for example, there are visitors there, we don't want visitors going into the bedrooms. And also, even if we're doing like serviced accommodation, the same thing, people have got their bedrooms, we still need to have one common bathroom. And then here we've got a bedroom. Although we've got tiles on here, some of them are broken and they're not installed in a great way. And as well, tiles generally, especially in the bedroom, they're cold. We either want carpet or some nice sort of wooden laminate floor. And also we have the issue in that the below here is obviously the ground floor. We've got all the and between here and the ceiling, there's all the plumbing that's going, for example, whether the toilets were, there's all the electricity, and we're going to have to do quite a bit of work on this. So we will actually be we've understood that below this tiling, it's quite relatively new chipboard, and so we're going to be removing all the tiles, quite a bit of the chipboard, to be able to have access to the plumbing for below. But yeah, let's have a look around the first floor. So we've got bedroom number 1. Obviously, you can see here we've got a massive amount of space that is not really used. We've got one small bedroom, so bedroom number 2, and one bigger bedroom, bedroom number 3. We'll have a look at the border and stuff in a moment. And then we come through into this space, which is actually really quite nice, lots of light. We've got the kitchen on units on both sides. We've got this here, which is a bit strange. We'll probably do something nicer with here. And then we come through into the quite big lounge. In the case of this being used for serviced accommodation, what we're planning on doing, we're going to keep these glass windows and doors. It's sort of giving lots of light to the kitchen, but we'll be installing curtains, probably quite like heavy curtains, so it's possible to, and we'll have probably sofa beds in here, so we can have people also staying in this room. So we've got 3 bedrooms plus the lounge potentially with a couple of sofa beds, so that could be 8 or 10 people in this unit, and curtains that can go across. In this area we haven't got that much to do. So here, because the corridor is massively wide, probably 1.5 meters, we don't need all that space, so we're going to be demolishing these stud walls to have a corridor at normal space and much bigger space for the bedrooms. And where the stairs are coming up here, because the stairs are going to be coming up there, all this space will be available for making the ensuite for this bedroom. Yeah, so here we're going to have a nice 3-bedroom flat. So looking at the utilities again, where we are here, we're directly above where we saw the gas meter and the consumer units. So we've got this boiler here, which actually is probably like maybe 1 or 2 years old. And this boiler is dealing with all of the property. But what we see here is, we've got a couple, so this is the hot water feed to the radiators, and we've got 2 circuits. So we've got this circuit here, which we'll trace that in a moment, which is going that way. And both of them have got separate thermostatic controls. And we've got the second circuit, which is going down here. So this circuit, and we got that all working yesterday. That circuit is doing all the radiators on the first floor, but it's also doing quite a lot of the radiators on the ground floor in what's going to be the ground floor apartment. So what we will need to be doing is where all those pipes, and these pipes will be underneath here, so we will be taking the flooring up, is separating those pipes so that the ones that correspond to the central heating on the first floor flat will be obviously going here, and then we have the possibility of putting a boiler directly below here on the ground floor and bringing, so we won't have to redo the plumbing, but we just separate the pipes. And probably initially we might not need to install that boiler, because if we're doing serviced accommodation, everything can run off the same boiler, and also if sometimes it can take months, maybe even 6 months to get new gas supply in, we can operate the property with the existing supply, and then if we decide at some point to maybe sell off the flats, then we can install the boiler, and we've got all the pipe work already in, just to switch simple circuit to the new one. And when we see these, so the other one is feeding, if we look at these pipes are going behind here, which is what we were speaking about earlier. Again, we're always breaking a few things coming up here. So these 2 grey pipes. And then these pipes are going in the loft so this is above the house part. So remember, they're going right to the corner. And then in reality on the ground floor, they're coming all the way back. So what this means is that we can isolate these 2 pipes. If you put the boiler on the ground floor of the house, then that can feed almost all the central heating for the part of the house. So that way we've got our 3 systems. But also at the same time we can keep these pipes in place. So we haven't got to immediately install the additional boiler. We can still operate all the heating from the one boiler, but when we want to put the 2 new ones in, everything will be pre-configured and there won't be any major work, just a question of putting the boilers in and attaching the pipes. So again here we've got the nice, grey view we can over the old town. We can see the garden below, which is really secluded. Obviously that's going to be tidied up, things cut back, jet washed and made to look good. So Sibra, maybe you want to add a few things. I've been speaking all the time.
Yeah.
Something that I haven't said.
I think overall you've got it. We were considering raising the ceilings, but we think that overall, because of budget, we will keep them sort of lower. The upstairs flat is already ready to go, so potentially we'll work on this first and we can rent it out while we work on other bits to get some income. But overall, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Okay.